Well, hello, this is Madeline from Madeline's Craft Room, and I am excited tonight as it is Technique Night. So, this is Madeline from Madeline's Craft Room, and I am from Vancouver Island, BC, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and just love to share my ideas and my different techniques and hopefully you get inspired. So if you're new to me, be sure to comment so that I can meet you, and you could also be entered in the draw. I do a monthly draw every single month, and you can have that opportunity by commenting. And if you're catching me later on the replay, um, be sure to uh, everybody can see me, I think. Yep. Be sure to comment as well, as it will be on YouTube as well as later on replay on my Facebook page. So, welcome, welcome. Tonight is a technique that some of you may have heard. It's Linda. Hello, Linda. But I'm going to show you a few different ways other than the typical way. And what two things kind of inspired me to do this was that we have a stamp set. Oh, and I realized I'm in the wrong view. You cannot see me. Let's go this way. There we go. Now you can see better what we're doing. And it's called So Very Merry. And this one naturally just looks like stained glass. And even if you just color on cardstock, you can see my hands have lots of colors. I've been playing with techniques today. But here is the Santa Claus and the angel that is in that stamp set. And you can see that just by coloring it on normal white cardstock, because of the stamp, it does look like stained glass. So, of course, that's an easy way. And then the other, and it's Rondi. Hello, Rondi. Nice to have you here too. The other thing that inspired me is that I got a swap card. This one was made by Hetty Jones, and she made this one, of course, with this particular set, So Very Merry. And in this one, she used vellum. And if you can see the gold on here, that's what she used. So we're just going to run through a few different techniques. I have the Santa Claus one already. We're going to use a Versamark. And what did I do with my, oh, here it is, my rubber mat or my silicone mat? Yvonne! Hello, Yvonne. So nice that you could join us way down in Mexico. We miss you down here or up here. So what we're going to do for this one is, where is my, I had everything, it's just hiding. I've got a big pile beside me of stuff I'm going to show you tonight. So we want to use the buddy and just remove some of that static that is on there. And then we're going to take our Versamark. Burr, yeah, it is getting colder here. You're getting the nice warm. That's right. Oh, well, it could be worse. Hello, Wendy. There she is. Okay, so I'm just inking that up. And I always make sure that I have my embossing powder ready because you want to be able to work fairly quickly. So I just have my black embossing. When I do this technique, I do like to use the black, especially if you're trying to make it look like stained glass. Now, she used the gold, and it certainly works with white or gold or silver, whatever you like to use. But we're going to just try this. Be careful not to slide it. The acetate, which we'll use later, is even harder. You've got to be careful not to slide on that. But there we go. That's a nice ink image. And just going to put the powder now over top of this. I got one little smudge. There's my brush. So must have stuck my finger on it afterwards. It's important after you powder it up that you don't put your fingers near there. Okay, we're ready. let's put that over there. We're going to use that again, only in a different technique. But now we're going to bring out our heat gun. So it's going to be a little bit noisy. We just want it on 1. And use your tweezers. I think I've got enough here and then we're not using the hot. That will be okay. Not going to burn my hands. But the key is to keep it running for a while. Sometimes I just let it kind of, whoops, I'm blowing stuff around here. Get it hot, and then I bring it down a bit. Okay, and now we're just going to lay it over. Yep, now it's going to start. If you can see it already starting. So I don't shake my heat gun. I just gently go all the way around. Oh, this is where maybe using the tool would have been a handy thing. Right, you got to turn it around. So we just go slowly. Oh, on the Santa hat, you can't forget the middle part. And when you see it shiny, then that's when you know it's done. And you don't want to do it any longer because you don't want the vellum to burn or things to get discolored. So we're going to turn that off. Okay, and just give it a second to dry. And when you're using vellum, usually we can use 2 things. I believe that Hetty would have used the Stampin' Up! Markers on this one. But the key to make stained glass on vellum, make sure that's all cooled down, is to turn it around. Don't try to do it on this image, turn it around. And that's the same thing if you use the StazOn. Which one are we going to use here? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, here it is. I got too many things on the go here. Okay, so we are going to use the Stampin' markers. So, oops, I don't want to use the fine tip. I want to use the full one, the broad. So when you're using markers, make sure that you just do 1 layer and you're going to let it dry, because it's not like the blends where you can blend and you can make light and dark. However, when you are using the markers, you don't want to have too many streaks. Don't worry about not covering all the black because of the fact that when we turn it over, you're not going to see that part because of the black embossing. And so when you're coloring this, you're just going to go in the middle there like that, and then keep going and doing other things, and then we will come back. And the key is to layer. So if you layer it, then you're going to be able to have a darker color, because as we use like the balmy blue, you're going to see that it's quite light. And I mean, unless you want it light, for some things you might want light. If you don't want it light, like I'll turn it over here, you see how it is still quite light? Well, we're going to do all the colors and then we're going to come back and then we can make them a little bit darker. Now you could use these in different colors. I am, just for the sake of being fast and easy, I'm just going to do the balmy blue in all of these. So I'm not double stroking because if I go back and forth on the same spot, you're actually going to remove the color, and we don't want to remove the color. We want to add the color by doing layers. I know I forgot about that, and as I was practicing, it's like, oh yeah, don't do that. So just make sure you go all the way around. Make sure, oh, that's the bag. Don't go any further. Okay, and then we will do his bag. And I'm not sure where it starts, but we're just going to go like this. I am going to go over the black because there's no black line, like the embossing. This is the back of the vellum. So I'm just going to do this because it's a large area and I don't want it to make it look very streaky. Now I have to turn this around to look. Does that look like it's his bag? Might be, hey, oops, I forgot one spot in there. We're just going to say that's part of the bag, just to make it simple. Now I did take out, what is this one? Blushing Bride, just because I thought it'd be nice to give his face a little bit of a color. I think the rest is supposed to be white beard. So now we're going to go back over. And now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to layer. And you will see, I'm going to turn this around and you can see. You see how right away it's a lot darker? Hello, Vicky. There she is. So that is the secret, is you're going to do it by layers. So just keep going like that. Okay. And if you see, I see now I've missed a few spots. Don't go back now. You can go back later, because I don't know if you can see how, yeah, there, you can see how it's still quite wet. So don't do it now. What color did we use next? We used the Balmy Blue. So same thing here. We are going to go back, and this time I'm going to do big strokes. So we're just going to go all the way around. So how's everybody doing? Everybody done their Christmas cards? I know there's a few of you who have, and there's others that are still panicking and finishing. Oh boy, 'tis the season, hey? And I think it was Rhonda. I think you were all done. I think, was it Wendy that was all done too? I know Carol's done. Vicky, how are you doing on your cards? Plugging away. Okay, so there's the blue. And now, what was the other color? Green. So same thing here now. We're going to go back, and we're going to make some big strokes. I'm going to go in there like that. Okay, you're done. Yay! And Rhonda's mailing tomorrow. That's okay, Linda. You've got 3 very special cards to make, to give to somebody that is special. So there we go. And so, like I said, if you wanted more detail, you could go back, but see the difference from before, how light the color is and how you can make that darker. So I'm not going to finish cards tonight, not in this technique class, because I'm going to show you a variety of different ways. So that, of course, is the vellum. And like I said, this was the one that, I didn't show you this one. This one I did in the angel. So you can see that difference. And then in this one, again, you turn it over. But I did this one actually in Memento and turned it over, and I did it in Stampin' Blends. So you can see there's quite a difference when you use the StazOn, or the embossing powder, I should say, and emboss it. It definitely makes it more of a whoa, wow, wow, wow. But as you see here, maybe you wanted a more subtle look, then that's what you could choose. So there's many different ways that you can do that. Okay, and of course the way that, I'm just going to move these over here. Whoops. That Hetty had used on her card as well. Now, and I did not show you that. Let me get one of these back here. And the key is, if you go to put this on your card, don't put it on a colored image. You definitely want to put it on a white image. So here you go with a white image, and you can see what a difference that makes. And it definitely looks more stained glass when you do that. Now, the other thing you can do is you can take some glitter paper, and you don't want a dark glitter paper. Again, you want something very light colored. So I got the silver. If we had a white, then you could use that. And it's not too bad, but I'm going to show you on our next step. And the next one is using acetate. And this one didn't work out so good, but I'm going to show you the difference. Woohoo! Look at that when you use the acetate. So that is what we're going to do next. Oops. Now you see how that was still wet and it showed up on my white cardstock. That's okay. We're going to turn it around. Okay. So now we need StazOn ink. Take that over there. And StazOn ink is a permanent ink. So that is the only way you can do it on a window sheet or on acetate. You can't use any other ink on that. Okay. And you know me, I love the smell of these StazOn. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to do let's try this one again, just so you can see the difference, because we did it on vellum. Now, last time on vellum, we used the Versamark and the embossing powder, but this time we're going to take the stamp or StazOn and stamp up the image. Okay, let's go. And you'll notice I twist it. The reason I kind of go from different sides is because, you know, when you go to use a stamp pad, many times we go stamp in the middle. You too. Okay. And that way, there's more ink on the edges. So when I ink up a stamp, I tend to kind of, like, I'm not squishing it, but I kind of tend to kind of go around. You love it too, Wendy. I know. It can be a little addictive, huh? Yep. So this way, we're going to go straight down. It's very important that once you get it on there, you do not move it and you don't let it slide. Definitely don't let it slide. So press down, and then we're going to lift it up. And there we have the image. Isn't that cool? Now remember, when you StazOn, this isn't one. Sometimes I don't worry about cleaning my stamps till later, but you don't want to do that with StazOn. So you got to use the StazOn cleaner, dab it. And where did my wipes disappear? Oh, they're right here. They're just under my Santa Claus. Okay. I like to use the wipes for this because it really is permanent ink and dirty. So I at least like to get the majority, and then I can use it on a normal pad later, or cleaning pad. Okay, but just get, as you can see how much is coming off. Let's get that off. Okay. So this here now is the same thing, is we want to be able to use our blends and do it exactly the same way. But the key is you want this to dry, and StazOn takes a little more time to dry. And so if it's not working fast enough for you, you bring out your heat gun and you give it a little heat. Oops, I'm off. Make sure it's completely dry, or unless you're going to go do something else and then come back to it. But you do not want that to be any little bit of wet. So then you would just turn it over, just like we did the vellum, and then you would use your blends. I think you can use the markers as well. But the key is you can't use them on these lines, because if you did, whoops, everything is popping here. Which one will I use? Maybe show with the dark green. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't turn it around and you go to color here. Oh, is it going to work? Oh, it's the markers. Pardon me, not the blends. Wrong one. Because these are alcohol markers. Yes, you can use the markers because they're watercolor. But if you go like this, then you're going to have the color starting to blend, and you don't want that. So with that idea of on the vellum, not vellum, pardon me, on the, I can't talk tonight, the acetate, And again, isn't that ever pretty? I mean, you can imagine. And I love this stamp because it punches out beautiful with our punch, and then you can just punch it out. And this is actually our adhesive, a self-adhesive paper, glitter, the silver and the gold, and love it, love it, love it. Okay, now you can see that I stamped another image. Now I know that, of course, sorry, there's fire trucks. We have this So Very Merry, which is very natural to the stained glass. But what do you do with some of your other stamp sets? And so I'm going to show you a way that you can do, and where is it? It's right underneath here. So this is Quiet Meadow. I haven't used this one in a while, but I absolutely love this one, not just for the stamp set, but for the incredible dies that are in this one. And so this one here, I use this image. And by doing this image, and I'm going to show you the difference, can you see that this one was definitely a little darker and this was a little lighter? The difference was holding it down longer and harder onto the acetate. This one I was a little bit lighter and went down and up. And I'll show you that on a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how I did this. But here, if you put it on these colors, I personally like the lighter because it doesn't show up as black. So if you're going to use a stamped image like that, this might be a good idea to do it just a lighter version, and that way you're going to be able to see the color. And how I got that color, and this time, use my favorite purples, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. And oh, I put away my brush. I was too efficient. Let's get my brush out. And my paper. Now, there's always two sides of the paper. This, we got some, but we're going to use this side. And so I haven't used anything else. All I'm using in this case is my stamp pad, my blending brush, and I'm going to put that right on the paper. Now, quite often I stamp off. In this case, I don't want to stamp off. I want it to be kind of bold, and I'm just going to kind of put a few different dots around. And you could do strokes this way, like you could do it whatever way you want. That one went on really dark. I should have gone on a little slower. That's okay. I'll just go here and blend it in a little better. Okay, now I'm going to blend off a bit, go to my lighter one. And of course you could do, oh, pardon me, the other way around. This one's darker. This one's Gorgeous Grape. You know, it's funny, but my color has faded. So it looks like it's a lighter purple. Oh boy, surprise. Okay, so I'm going to just go in a little bit darker there. That one I will dab off. Okay. So is this going to be enough for us to kind of see? Yeah, got a little bit dark in that one spot. But that's what you can do, is you can make your own background, and then you can put your flower or whatever. So you can see, you don't want, that was a little too dark of a smudge, but you can see how it's not getting the right reflection. Isn't that pretty? And that way you can get a variety of colors. And again, it depends what colors you're using, right, to get that. Okay, so that makes it look like stained glass. Let's go to another one. Okay, now this is another stamp set in our annual catalog, the Apple Harvest. And I know it's not harvest time anymore, but it is still a gorgeous stamp. And because it has the coloring ability, where did my block go? Isn't that funny? I had everything in front of me, and it's hiding on me now. Right in front of my nose. Here it is. Because then you can do lots of different coloring on it. So what we want to do is get a piece of vellum. Oh, I wonder if I have one big enough. Is that going to be big enough? We'll make it. Okay, so don't worry, we'll cut around that. But here we've got this image. Now, we could emboss, or should we use Stays On? Let's use, what should we use? Stays On? Let's try Stays On. So we're just going to ink this up. I could use a bigger piece. Maybe I should. Hang on. It's right behind me here. The wrong. So I pre-cut some of my card front sizes, and then that way they're all ready to go. So let's just give that another quick inking. Okay. And we're going to put this on here. Just let it soak in a little bit. Press down. So has anybody done stained glass techniques before? Okay. Look at the detail of that. Isn't that beautiful? And that's before we color it. So as I clean this, let me know in the comments. Has anybody done the stained glass? You haven't, Linda? You like that, eh? Yeah. It's very easy to do, too. And if you don't have the embossing powder, like I say, you could use Stays On. Stays On is definitely, as you can see, it can make a real mess of your stamp. No, not you either, Rondi. Really? Oh, wow. I thought for sure you would have. Okay. Oh, yes, you will have to try it on vellum. Vellum is beautiful. And not even what we see now, but you'll see when we're done, especially as we do an image like this, it can just look so amazing. Okay, good enough. I got that cleaned. Now I am going to bring over some of these colors, some different kind of colors. Okay, and I am going to bring this over. Now remember, this is the side that we inked. I think it's dry, but I'm just going to give it a quick splash with the heat. Just to make sure. Now, we won't maybe do the whole thing, but I'm going to start with this side, and then that way you can see. So let's start with our stem. I think the stem, I'm going to go a little bit darker. And did I turn it over? Oh, no, I didn't. See? T, naughty. Okay, so now we're going to, and it's really easy because, you know, you don't have to be quite so exact about, you know, keeping in the lines. You just, well, I'm doing the, oh, well, the stems are going to be green now too. I realized I didn't bring a brown, but that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to use the boulder, and I am just going to, and this doesn't have to be too particular how you put it on. And again, we're not going to put on the next color. So even if you want to add another color, you don't do this. That's why it's kind of reverse thinking of blends, because you're not blending it. You can only layer it on the vellum. So you're just going to go like this and splash some green on there. Now I have some color combinations as I'm doing this. Tell me what you think. Should we do some purples or some pinks? Or what is this? Flirty Flamingo and Calypso Coral. Tell me as I splash on a little more green, which color should we do? Well, I guess it's peaches. I guess we should do that. I'm thinking it's flowers. Oh boy. What do you think? Stick to the peachy color? I have flowers on my brain. I guess maybe I'm fighting the fact that winter's coming and the flowers are fading. Although I got to tell you, my Christmas cactus is now going through the second time of buds. I am so excited. And all three of them. It's pretty amazing. I don't think I've ever had that happen. They obviously like the window in my spare bedroom because that's where they're hiding. Okay, so we've done that. Now, let's put the purples away. I like purples and pinks. Okay, let's put in some Calypso Coral. So we're just going to layer. So we're going to put some this on here. And like I say, if you want it to go darker, then you're going to be able to add on another layer after. Okay, and if it's not going fast enough for you either, then the other thing that you can do is it again, give it another little quick heat. Not on the hot heat, on the low setting. Okay. Oops, go the wrong way. Okay, now I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the dark. And because I'm not blending, I'm just going to splash a little bit inside here a little bit. Okay, and if you wanted to go back with the other green, you know, obviously you could do that. Now Stampin' Up! Gives you some lines. I'm not even really worrying about that. I'm just kind of slushing some dark green in there. Just like that. Okay, one more. Okay, Vicki, have you done stained glass before? Now, that looks patchy, but when you turn it over, look at it. And it doesn't matter so much. I mean, you can go back and fill in some of those spots, but you see how it has a way of being able to just make it look very mild. And then, of course, oh, we don't have our, oh, we got it right in front of me. We got another white paper. Then we're just going to put that on top of there, and you can see how beautiful that looks. So that's another really cool way of being able to do it. I would, of course, put this, you know, some kind of frame around it. You'll see I'll post it on my blog, and you'll see the finished product of it as well to give you some more ideas. But you can see that even though that really looked ugly from this side, from what I was doing, when you put it like this, you would never know I colored that so fast and so jiggly. No fancy coloring there at all. So yes, and I think that was the ones that I wanted to show you. So I will finish these up, and I will have the finished cards on my blog so that you can see how to finish the cards. But I will post a bunch of the different cards that we finished. Now, Hetty did finish this one, but then you'll be able to see. Actually, I think that's, pardon me. See, again, that's the difference. That doesn't, oops, let's put it on a white. See, that does not look so nice, but you turn it around and what a difference it looks. So this is the cool different ways that you can do it. and wherever my other samples are, but I will put more out. So I would love to see what you create, ladies. And hopefully that gives you some new ideas, not just with the one stamp set that really does look like stained glass, but hopefully I've given you some ideas to be able to use the stamps that you have. So thanks for joining me, ladies. Bye for now.